Hello, I haven't done a voiceover video for a while, and I don't have my microphone with me, so you're just gonna have to deal with my phone audio. So I've actually made this video before. I made a video, God, ages ago, years and years and years ago, entitled How to Read More, but I was thinking the other day, and I think I have some things to say on this topic, so I thought I'd make a video on it. I haven't rewatched the old video, so I don't know what's in that, so maybe the first thing you should do is watch that. I'm sure past Amy's advice works well. But yeah, I feel like I'm coming to this from a different perspective as well, because with university I have a lot less time to read, and I have been reading a lot less. So I'm coming from a position of someone who has to really try to get reading in, rather than past Amy, who could just do it whenever she liked because she had more spare time. Okay, so speaking of spare time, my first key tip is going to be to make time. It doesn't really matter when this is. Sometimes I like to have a bath and I'll read in the bath, or I'll go to bed half an hour earlier, or I will set an alarm for half an hour earlier, wake up and read in that time, or something like that. I find it, if you're going to say things like, oh, I'm going to read at this time, and you end up scrolling through social media for hours and hours and hours on end, which, you know, I'm sure is an issue for not just me. No, I know this is an issue for a lot of people. Then maybe like setting aside a time where you can't have your phone, so like when you're in the bath, or possibly going to a place where people can keep you accountable, so going to sit in a library, or sitting in a more public room in your house, in the living room, or whatever. It might feel a bit more, you might feel a bit more likely to read. Similarly to making time, I would say don't wait until you feel like it. If you sit around and wait until you feel like reading, then chances are you might never get there if the book's just not compelling to you. And if this video is kind of aimed at people who want to read more, and the amount that you're reading probably isn't as much as you would like, and you're probably only reading when you feel like it. So yeah, setting the time aside, making a timetable, not necessarily a timetable, just being like, I'm going to read at this time, I'm going to make my dinner, and when I finish my dinner, I'm going to sit on the sofa and read. And not just being like, well, I don't feel like it now, being like, nope, this is the time that I'm going to do it. And you'll find after about 15 minutes or so, you'll either be like, okay, this isn't happening, I'm not feeling this, or you'll be like, cool, I'm into this book now, and you will sit and read for hopefully longer than the original 15 minutes. Obviously, feeling like it is important, and I think this is because of just how long it can take to finish a book if you're not feeling it. You can read as much as you like, but you will just like physically read each word and each page faster if you're excited in it. And one way that I find helps me to get excited about reading a book is to just think about it and have it around. Like if you're a person who really likes reading and really likes books, like the concept of having books around is a nice thing and makes you want to read them. So if you know the type of person who reads some of a book and then puts it back on a bookshelf, you'll likely forget about it. At the moment, currently my book is behind me, next to my bed, and I'm facing in the opposite direction at my desk. But if I was wanting to read more, I would keep it on my desk instead, so it was always in like the line of my vision and constantly sort of in my subconscious, which is going to make me more likely to think about it and then more likely to want to read it. So the last two are kind of time-based as well, because at the moment that's what my focus is, because that is my main issue. So the first one will be to take books out of the library. There is a time pressure there, you have to return it by a certain date, and that means that you kind of are forced to read it. I mean, you obviously don't have to, because you can renew it and you can return it unread, but I think if you get it out of the library and then start it like that day, and then you're like, well, I want to finish this book and I have to finish it by this certain date. You also don't have to just do this with libraries, which I think would be my last tip here, which would be post-it note goals. So this is the thing that I do if I've been reading a book for ages and I really want to finish it, or if I really want to get through quite a few books in a short period of time, or like there's a time pressure on finishing the book, and this is post-it note goals. So I decide what day I want to finish reading this book on. So if I'm like, okay, well, I want to finish this book in 3 days, I work out how many pages I have left, I divide that by 3, and I put a post-it note with the name, like I put a post-it note with the day of the week on it, on the page that I need to be up to. So I know that I have to be on page 200 by Wednesday and 300 by Thursday in order to finish the book on time. This can make things seem less daunting, because if you have 400 pages left and you're like, oh my god, I cannot possibly finish this in the next few days, I don't have time, it can make it much more manageable. And it also means that you have like a thing to work towards. So if you're just not feeling it, you can be like, it's okay, I only have 10 pages left and then I'm done for the day. And it will also help you reach that goal by that certain date. This is what I do with library books. It's what I do if I feel myself getting into a reading slump, because I don't want to do that, and I find that the way to get out of a reading slump is usually to read, which is exactly what you don't want to do at that moment. So setting these kind of self-imposed deadlines can hopefully help a lot. So those were my updated tips on how to read more. I would again suggest watching my last video. I haven't watched it, so it may be really cringy and old. I'm sure it is, but here we are. I have recorded this all in one take. I don't know how many things I'm going to cut out. So yeah, I wanted this to be a bit of a chill, sit down and chat kind of video. But yeah, I think that's everything. If you have any requests or questions, then leave it down in the comments. New videos every Wednesday, and like, subscribe and all that jazz, and I will see you next week. Bye.